Hello and welcome to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament. We are starting off with the losers round of 8. We're jumping right into it here to get to the action as quickly as we can. We have B Reaver, the teal Protoss, up against Steamhammer, the orange Zerg. And so we'll see how these two want to fight it out here. It looks like Steamhammer has stopped drone production with 7 going for a spawning pull, so we're seeing a 7 pull here, while B Reaver is dropped his first pylon here. And now we've got a scout coming out, so it looks like we're going to see probably some early Zergling play here from Steamhammer. We've got a gateway coming down here for B Reaver, and he has been scouted, so we've got the Zerglings chasing the probe there, while one goes ahead over to the main base. And it looks like we have a second probe coming out for B Reaver here, but going to be pushed back by the Zergling. We've got now a Zealot at the ramp here, but I don't know if it's going to hold. Oh, and it falls very quickly. Second Zealot pops out. The probes are pulling to try and help, but it doesn't look like, well, it looks like, okay, they were able to handle it. So we've got a probe dancing here in the natural. Not sure what he's trying to do, but it looks like it's kind of scared. We've got more unit dancing here, but it is disrupting B Reaver's mining because units just don't know if they want to commit to fighting these Zerglings or if they can safely mine. Meanwhile, behind this, Steamhammer is expanding. Is getting gas now, so it looks like he is transitioning out of the Zergling pressure. Cybernetics core is done, but I don't see any more Zealots being produced, so that is going to be a problem. But that's probably due to only having 37 minerals, so you can't really produce the Zealots if you don't have the money to do it. Another Zergling falling. I don't think I've heard any other probes fall, so we're just getting some dancing here. We're going to speed it up a little bit. We got, looks like Hydralisk speed now underway. More Zerglings coming in. No mining or production for B Reaver, so it's not looking too good. Now the probes finally engage with the Zerglings and go down, and it looks like Steamhammer is pretty handily able to take game 1 here off of B Reaver. Yep. And we'll just make sure that there's no crash there, and Steamhammer takes game 1 from B Reaver. GG. Game 2 of Steamhammer versus B Reaver. We'll see if we see similar play from the two bots. We've got Steamhammer, the yellow Zerg, and B Reaver, the orange Protoss. So it looks like we're getting a similar opening from both bots. We'll see if it plays out the same. It looks like he's going to get scouted by the drone, just like last time as the Overlord goes to the other empty main. He is found there. The Zerglings are under construction, and the first Zealot is still underway, but the Zerglings got led a little bit by that probe, which did give time for the second Zealot to finish. The two Zealots might be able to hold the ramp better than just the one alone, although the one does have some damage. Cybernetics core is underway here. We've got Steamhammer transitioning, getting the second hatchery here. A third Zealot for B Reaver since the mining was not disrupted this time around. Second gateway coming down. Good, so you can get some more unit production going. We've got the gas now for Steamhammer with 8 drones to B Reaver's 20 probes. There we go. Now we've got the 4 Zealot ramp hold that B Reaver is known for getting, along with the Stargate, probably for Corsair. We'll see some Overlord harass, along with the Robotics Facility Bay and another gateway coming down. So it's good to see that this game is playing out differently than the previous one, with B Reaver having been able to hold his ramp. Now we do have the Corsair out, and just kind of scouting things out right now, looking for these Overlords. Did go past one of them, so I'm not sure exactly what he's doing. And these Zerglings are kind of dancing away. Up, no, maybe up, they poke in and they see the Zealots and they decide they want none of it. But we do have a second Corsair out now for B Reaver. And we'll get that production tab up there. We've got the Citadel of Adun finishing up, as well as Hydralisk speed And Hydralisks are starting to come out now. I'm a little bit surprised that the Corsairs have not done any harassing, really, of the Overlords. They're just kind of... Oh, there we go. Okay, now one have kind of found it, but the Hydralisks are in play now, so he's backing off a bit. And B Reaver still on one base. Getting Reaver Tech now to deal with the Zerg army. That splash damage will be very nice. Now, taking a second, and also pushing out to push this large Zergling army back, which times with the Reaver finishing. Oh, nice Reaver shot. Another nice one as they got caught on the ramp there. Meanwhile, Steamhammer is sitting back on the 2 bases, but keeping the minerals low. Could probably use some more unit production. It is quite outclassed in power supply, which is not a good thing when you are Zerg. But the Reaver's units seem to be a little bit indecisive in what they want to do here. So they are gathering outside the natural. Nice Reaver shot there on the Hydralisks. No shuttles, though, for B Reaver. Just going straight with the Reavers this time around. Oh, there's the shuttle now. Okay. Now we've got the shuttle Reaver play that can make B Reaver so dangerous. The Sunkens are falling down in the natural. Getting the Spire, but no army units to speak of. Now getting some Scourges, but Scourges are not gonna help. Gonna chase off that shuttle, though, with the Reaver in it, but not gonna help against the Zealots. Mutalisks would have been a better choice because they could also hit the ground, but then I guess there are the Corsairs, which that one just got taken out. But it's looking like this game is over with B Reaver, evening things up 1-1. Right, so jumping right into game 3, we have Steamhammer, the White Zerg in the top left, and B Reaver, the blue Protoss, in the top right on La Mancha. So after evening up 1-1, we'll see maybe if Steamhammer chooses a different build or goes with the same one, and we'll see what B Reaver does as well. So we've got the Overlord Scout going towards B Reaver's direction. B Reaver getting that pylon and going out for the early scout. Well, not early scout, but going out with its scout. And it looks like we have 9 workers for Steamhammer, so it looks like this is going to be a different build. The minerals are building up. You do see now a drone going out, and it's going to be a fast expand for Steamhammer. So we will have a different game for game 3 here between these 2 bots. Scouting drone going out. The probe sees what's up, that this is a fast expand build, and B Reaver, it looks like, is going aggressive with its first Zealot here, but now pulling back. Probably, yep, those are Zerglings that just popped there, so decided to pull back and wait for his second Zealot to come about before really engaging. So instead of just being content to hold the ramp, we see a little bit of different play from B Reaver here as well, but loses the first Zealot to the Zerglings, which is not good. The second Zealot needs to pull back. Instead, it decides to fight with the Zerglings there and goes down. Third Zealot out, but all alone on the ramp. Could very quickly and easily be overrun by these Zerglings, but it looks like... Oh, yep, they are, but some of them were going somewhere down there. I think that there was a probe that went down there or something. Now looks like we're back into the same sort of situation where we had with game 1. We've got the Zerglings dancing in the main of B Reaver, keeping the probes from mining. B Reaver has no money to build anything else up. Well, we do have... we did have another Zealot there, but that quickly died. So let's see if I can pull up. Yeah, the production here, so we can see nothing building right now for B Reaver as his probes are all preoccupied with this. Meanwhile, Steamhammer is getting more Zerglings, more drones, and a hatchery, an expansion hatchery even. Meanwhile, the probes are falling now to the Zerglings. And it looks like B Reaver is out of workers, out of money, and is slowly being eaten away here by the Zerglings. So GG, Steamhammer taking game 3 on La Mancha to go up 2-1. So jumping into game 4 on Roadrunner, we have B Reaver, red Protoss in the bottom left, and Steamhammer, the white Zerg, in the top left. We've seen Steamhammer take Game 3 in a similar fashion to Game 1, although we could probably blame that on B Reaver trying to be aggressive, and Steamhammer did use a different build to get to the same destination. So let's see, it looks like Steamhammer is going back to the build from Games 1 and 2 with that 7 pool there. And we'll see what B Reaver decides to do with his Zealots. He's not scouting Steamhammer's location, and Steamhammer, oh, he is sending out a second scout though, so he probably will find B Reaver before the Zerglings pop. His gateway is down, the Overlord has found B Reaver, so and the scouting probe was down very quickly, so these Zerglings are not going to be distracted on their way. The Zealot is going to complete though before they reach there, but these Zealots, or these Zerglings, could potentially overrun that Zealot. We'll see. The Zealot is back a bit. Oh, he was going to go aggressive and then decided not to. He is going to get overrun by these Zerglings though. But a second Zealot has popped out. Zerglings are still underway though for Steamhammer. If they can get the good surround up, and they get the second Zealot too. A third Zealot is going to come out though, but if Steamhammer can do a similar thing where he gets B Reaver to pull all of his workers, he could be in a good spot. B Reaver plops down a second gateway after the Cybernetics core finishes. Gonna take out, oh, and it lives with 13 health. Oh, no, and then it goes down. Now we've got the Stargate coming down. B Reaver really needs to probably spend a bit more money on some Zealots. Zealot goes down again, but now another one pops out. Oh no, now the probes are being pulled off the mining. Okay. Oh no. And the income for B Reaver is being messed with those worker pools, which it has avoided so far, though it does now have 2 Zealots on the field. Meanwhile, Steamhammer is diverting his money to transitioning. He's getting his Hydralisk Den, getting an expansion at his natural, which is giving B Reaver some room to breathe. So B Reaver managing to avoid the pitfall of Game 1 this time around by perhaps situationally, with the ramp being so far away from the mineral line, not pulling his workers off when he didn't need to, and not pulling all of them off at the time that it did. So we've got a sunken colony, or sorry, a creep colony going down at the natural for Steamhammer, becoming a spore colony to protect against the marauding Corsair. Got some Hydralisks underway. We've got the Reaver and Citadel of Adun coming down for B Reaver. But Steamhammer's army out in the natural, but now we've got the Zealots making a push to kind of push this army back and take the natural. But the army's kind of chasing these units a bit far away, leaving this natural exposed. But it seems like with the army that stayed over here, we're able to push back, although now this is pretty exposed, but Steamhammer deciding not to engage as the army is chasing these guys back to the natural. There are no Sunkens, no Spore in the main, but this shuttle, I don't know what it's doing. I guess it's distracted now. These Zerglings are hitting this natural nexus. This Reaver is trying to come down, help. Will it get there in time? It does, with a nice Reaver blast to get those 3, and now this shuttle is coming to engage at the main base. Gonna take 1 drone down, 2 drones down, and then it's going to get chased out of the main. Not all the way though, so it's going to come back, try and get another one. Oh, and another drone, and a Hydralisk now down. So the Reaver harass is putting in some work. Steamhammer, only 9 drones. As a Zerg, you're generally going to have less workers than your opponent, but 9 at this stage is definitely going to hurt, especially with the Hydralisks. They are a unit that requires gas, so you have to have some of that 9 on gas. Now, throwing down a Spire, I'm not sure why you don't have the worker count that you need in order to support Mutalisks, but I guess anything is worth a try here. Got to deal with the Corsair. Nicely running some of those drones out, but now the gas mining is stopped. More drones going down. Spire getting hit now by the Reaver. Hydralisk's finally coming back to deal with this Reaver that is harassing. Meanwhile, we've got some good macro going on by B Reaver. He's got his natural up with some cannons to protect. He's got an army that's pushing back these units that are in the middle here, not dealing with this harassing Reaver. Corsairs dancing around. We do have some Scorch now because Steamhammer was able to, I guess that was a dud because that drone did not go bye-bye. Will they get it? They're chasing it. Are they going to get it? Are they going to get it? It's just able to get away. Meanwhile, there is, it looks like some army movement by B Reaver. Looks like he was heading towards Steamhammer's natural, but decided to back off a bit. I believe these are Corsairs over on the far right. And the shuttle is able to make it to cannons, and then the Dragoons pick off the rest of the Scourge. So the shuttle and the Reaver manage to survive. Meanwhile, his army is slowly moving up here. He could take a third up here and be able to defend both of these relatively easy with his army, but it looks like he is going aggressive. Meanwhile, Steamhammer trying to come around this other way, perhaps to circumvent the army, or maybe that's just the way that he chooses to come at his opponent from here in this situation. If we do have Corsairs out here scouting to make sure that there's no funny business or extra expansions happening. And now we've got the Goons pushing in. Steamhammer's drone count is extremely low though, but looks like he will be able to repel this for now, but with the backups coming in, should be able to hold with the Sunkens for at least a minute. But yeah, now the Reavers are doing some work. There's a Reaver in the main that I missed that's tearing that up, so it looks like this is going to be the end with Steamhammer with B Reaver tying things up to 2-2. So game 5 of B Reaver and Steamhammer. Neither of these bots want to say goodbye to the tournament, as the loser of this will be eliminated from the tournament altogether, with the winner going on to the next round of the losers bracket, with the opponent still to be determined based on the next round of the winners. So, seeing again a different build from Steamhammer. Yep, we've got up to 8 drones here. And it looks like we're seeing the same. So we've seen the same basic build from B Reaver each game here, though we've seen a little different behavior with the units, sometimes being a little bit more aggressive with those initial zealots, and then other times favoring to just hold the ramp. The initial scouting did not find Steamhammer, but now he's found him. He sees what's up. He should see the natural hatchery, sees the late spawning pool. Well, not necessarily late for this build order, but sees that it was not a pool first, and instead it was a hatchery first build. First zealot is out, and looks like he's going to go ahead and march down the ramp and be aggressive. Steamhammer now does know where B Reaver is. Yep, that is a pylon and not a cybernetics core. We've got the Zerglings under construction though now, and they are out. That zealot being a little overzealous there and falling to the Zerglings, and so now the backup that was on the way is going to go ahead and safely fall back to the ramp here, but he is now being joined by a Karmat, so the two of them, I'd like to see them a little bit more forward. There we go, so that they can take these on with less surface area to be hit by the Zerglings, so that way they can maintain that ramp a little bit better. And we do have a third zealot out. We've got the Stargate for the Corsairs again, and the robotics facilities for the Reaver and Shuttle. Oh, but they were able to overtake the Zealots there. Corsair under construction, and now another Zealot, but now the probes are having to pull in order to fight this off. He does have a little bit of bank, so he could pop a second. Yeah, okay, he is getting a second Zealot in the Corsair, so. But now all the probes are going to fall. No, you want to keep them around for when the Zealots are able to join. Okay, and so now he is able to kind of repel these Zerglings a little bit, but these Zealots are just going to get overrun again. And we're going to be right back in the same position, but this time now B Reaver does not have the money to get the Zealots. Nothing in the production queue for B Reaver. Zerglings just making a mess in B Reaver's base. And then coming in for the cleanup, it looks like Steamhammer will move on to the next round of the losers, taking it 3-2 against B Reaver. Very good matchup this time. Instead of just a straight out 3-0, we definitely had a little bit of a slugfest there. Jumping into match 2, we have Killerbot versus ZNZZBot on Moonglaive. So we've got Killerbot in the bottom left corner as the orange Zerg, and ZNZZ as the brown Protoss in the top mid. And we'll see. Here we have ZNZZ going for a fast expansion, perhaps. Yep, going Forge Expand. Killerbot is also going for a hatchery first fast expansion, so we're going to see some general macro play, it looks like, from both players here. Not a lot happening at the moment. Both have spotted up. We do have a expansion at the other unused natural here by Killerbot, so perhaps like a sneaky expansion of sorts going on. Gas being established, Nexus being established at the natural for ZNZZ. That first Zealot is out and Lings are out. Gonna scout and check stuff out. That Zealot seems to be a little bit out of place. Probably should be back here, but isn't being lured out by the Zerglings, so that seems to be okay. Meanwhile, both bots are just kind of sitting back, doing their thing. We've got a fourth hatchery up now for Killer. We've got Goon range going, a little bit of Zerg poking in and a Zergling popping. While this Overlord continues to check things out, Lair is almost done for Killerbot with Hydralisk speed started, so we'll probably see a Hydralisk play here, potentially a Hydralisk bust of some sort. Meanwhile, you've got more gateways under construction, so it looks like ZNZZ is getting ready to macro up here. He is pushing Killerbot back a little bit here. And I missed, there was a push here at Killerbot's natural. But it did some damage to the Sunkens, but was not successful. But ZNZZ is able to move his troops out and give himself a little bit of breathing room here as the Zergling is just checking things out, making sure that things are going okay. And that there's no like hidden expansion or anything like that. We do have the third now being established for ZNZZ as his army is moving out. And slowly growing out here. Still no observers, it looks like, yet, or observer tech. Do have another push into the Sunkens here, which is just not going to go well. He's just throwing units away to the Zerg. Did manage to take a Sunken, but it is being very quickly replaced. In the supply war, ZNZZ still is on top. Worker count is about even, which is a little bit surprising, given that this is up against Zerg. Usually Zerg will have a significantly lower economy. We got some general fighting here, some Hydralisks just getting some free shots on some goons here that were just trying to walk by. But it looks like ZNZZ did discover this a little bit earlier and is trying to make a push into it. Meanwhile, there is trouble at the third for ZNZZ with some Hydralisks here. Let's see, we've got no upgrades on the Dragoons. No upgrades except for speed, I believe, on the Hydralisks. So some damage being here, but that's probably going to be okay. Meanwhile, this was also repelled thanks to the Sunkens. And now the armies are kind of just meeting up in the middle again. Both have fought off the pressure of the other and are attempting to go back to applying pressure again to the same points. Meanwhile, Killerbot is expanding and taking more bases. Same with ZNZZ. So it looks like we've got a bit of a similar style of play here from both of these bots. Just sort of try and poke where you can and try and expand. Looks like ZNZZ did get another expansion up here, but it was already under pressure by Killerbot. But ZNZZ should be able to repel this. Did take some probe deaths though, and is actually under the probe, or the worker count of Killerbot. More Hydralisks coming in. More Dragoons trying to poke into these Sunkens. That's not really going to go well for him. Killerbot with a huge gas count there. But really spending those minerals. Would be good to see us switch into maybe some gas-heavy units. Maybe get some Ultralisks or something in there, or Defilers. But the Hydralisks are doing work, and there is just this steady stream of units coming in to kill this expansion here. And really, these Dragoons would be better served coming over to help with the defense. And some of them are going now, but he's just not going to be able to crack the Sunkens with such a small force. Maybe even some Reaver tech would be good to see here. But he is going to repel this. He's sort of leading the Hydralisks over to the middle as they chase down the goons. But now they're met up with more Hydralisks. Sort of pushing into the natural, but being repelled back. Now we've got High Templar tech on the field. Archons coming out, which will definitely help when dealing with the Zerg army. Still no upgrades for the Zerg player. One is done for the Protoss player, so that's also going to help a lot. But this expansion for ZNZZ has fallen. Meanwhile, none of Killerbot's bases have been destroyed yet. We've got some trouble happening here, some more probe deaths happening. But it looks like overall, being able to repel them, just barely there. And now they're kind of dancing out, gonna get some free shots on these goons that want to return home and not really choosing a good path to take to get there. So Overlord just kind of dancing around. Meanwhile, this base is under attack. Totally missed it. The army is stuck, hiding in the natural for fear of the Zerg army, which then just comes and sweeps over here to clean up. ZNZZ's fourth base, I think that was? Fourth base. It looks like, and now they're coming over here. The overwhelming numbers of the Zerg. Killerbot just way ahead in supply, way ahead in economy, and spending those minerals really well, really banking that gas. Doesn't even have the gas built here. But it seems like just with overwhelming numbers, these Hydralisks are able to put in some work. I don't think I did see High Templar, but I didn't see any Storms, so those High Templar may have just been for Archons. We do have 2-2 coming up for Protoss, but it looks like he's just being overwhelmed by the Zerg here. We'll go ahead and speed this up a bit, as this looks like it's going to be the end. As the buildings just fall and Killerbot goes up 1-0. Game 2 on Destination between Killerbot and ZNZZ. We have the purple Zerg Killerbot in the north and the red Protoss ZNZZ in the south. So Destination will see if the bridges at the naturals give either of these bots an advantage or disadvantage. If ZNZZ doesn't get Storm, I see the bridges being more of a hindrance to them. Although Storm would be lovely to see go across the bridges. And it looks like we're going to get a similar sit back and macro early game from both bots here. As we get the early hatchery there and we have the forge first expand. Really, ZNZZ could, and it's even getting the cannon, it could have got this Nexus a lot earlier. With this scout running around and not even seeing a spawning pool up yet, there was plenty of time to wait, get this Nexus, then the forge, and then a cannon and gateway. Killerbot also getting the third hatchery at a third base once again. Go ahead and going to pop out these Zerglings here, see if they can do anything. Was chasing around a probe. Got the Overlord here. Zealot decides to stay not far from the cannons, which is probably a smart choice here. Cybernetics core is down. Citadel of Adun already started, so maybe we're gonna see some Dark Templar play here? Guessing this is the Citadel. Yeah. It feels like a quick Citadel, but that might also... Actually, yeah, why? Weapon upgrade already started. Hydralisk speed already going. Is this for Zealot speed? It must be just for Zealot speed, but that's not even started researching yet. So try to keep an eye up. There's the Templar Archives. Okay, so maybe we will see some early Storm even to apply some pressure here to Killerbot. Killerbot getting to sit back. Like that it's keeping its Sunkens not morphed, as the Protoss army is sitting at home. It has plenty of time to keep those resources for other uses, and then once that Protoss army moves out, it can go ahead and throw up the Sunkens. So getting the fourth hatchery now. We've got Archons out pretty early. So it looks like we're not seeing any kind of Storm or Dark Templar play, and the army moves out, and then the Sunkens are morphed and completed in plenty of time at both bases. Would be kind of cool to see if you waited to see where this army was going before doing that. And honestly, because the army stopped where it did, it could have held back a little bit longer before morphing those. But still, it's awesome to see a bot doing that sort of reactive playstyle. Now that 4th base was stopped by Killerbot, and the Protoss army is marching in the middle, being a bit undecisive of where to go. Might have seen the Sunkens and decided to not engage and then decided to engage. Meanwhile, the Zerg did try to bust the natural, did a little bit of damage, but being repelled. This expansion attempting to be taken, but a couple of Hydralisks are giving it some trouble. Meanwhile, the Zerg is now expanding over here on the left side of the map. So we've got, looks like a bit of a similar play going on here. These Archons are trying to do some work, getting 3 kills there, but Archons are just not going to do that well against Hydralisks. I'd much rather see them remain as High Templar and some Storm going on here. Protoss is getting upgrades though. It does have attack +1, getting armor +1, so that is good to see. We've got, there was another hatchery it looked like going down somewhere. Not sure where that was exactly. Meanwhile, ZNZZ is now trying to expand here while defending over on the left. So it looks like they're going to split this map horizontally. Protoss army is a lot larger right now, so that is good to see, but if he can maintain that or not. Zealots are chewing through these Hydralisks pretty well. Meanwhile, Killerbot is going to take the right side and hit the right side of the map on ZNZZ. Meanwhile, ZNZZ is going to hit the 3rd base of Killerbot and take that out. Now the lair goes down, and I don't think that was a bad decision for where to place the lair, and placing the lair at an expansion again, which is not going to be good. Although Killerbot doesn't seem to be using lair tech, so that may not be that bad of a loss. So now more Sunkens going down here. ZNZZ putting in some work, actually fighting back the Zerg infestation this time. I think the more linearness of this map really helped out ZNZZ in this matchup. Instead of his army being split like it was in the last match, we saw he's mainly able to keep his army together and utilize the power of it a lot more effectively. Unlike the last one where he was trying to hit a base and also trying to defend at the same time, it was much better at keeping its army coordinated and was able to tie this up 1-1. Game 3 between ZNZZ and Killerbot. We've got ZNZZ in the top left, Protoss, Killerbot, Yellow Zerg in the bottom right of Empire of the Sun. So we've seen the exact same build from both bots. This is another big wide map though. So in the first game we had a big, I think it was a 3-player map, Moonglaive, where I think the openness of the map really played against what ZNZZ bot was trying to do, while the second matchup in Destination really helped Killerbot out. So we'll see if we get the same sort of play. It looks like we are getting the exact same build orders again. This 3-hatch double expand from the Zerg, while the Protoss goes Forge first expansion. And the 3rd expand is again at another natural that's not in use. The Zerglings coming out here. We may watch this game a little bit faster since it is essentially the same build orders out of these two. It'll more be map dependent and how they control their armies that are going to decide this match. Since we've seen these two build orders play against each other from these same bots with different outcomes, I think it really does depend on how they try to utilize their armies. If the Protoss can keep sort of like a death ball rolling, it does seem to come out in their favor. Got the Citadel of Adun. More gateways as the Protoss army moves out to push the Zerglings, which forces the Sunkens to be morphed. Then moving out. Also, I do like that these two seem to be doing some scouting instead of going with the main attack group, but if you're going to actually press in, it would be good to see you keep your army together, actually doing some damage here. If those two Zealots had stayed with this group, might have been able to bust this, but gonna be able to hold with the Hydralisks, gonna morph some more Sunkens, and should end up being okay here in the end. Meanwhile, we do have a little bit of fighting going on out here, but the cannons might keep him safe with the buildings out front, and he does have enough of an army back home that he should be alright. He's going ahead and trying to take his third completely unprotected. If the Zerg really wanted to, they could just come over here and kill it, but they may not have seen it yet. Go ahead and speed things back up a bit here. So ZNZZ trying to get some breathing room, fighting that off. Gonna go ahead and maybe head back to, yep, Killerbot's natural. Gonna poke in, and this is not going to be a very successful attempt here. So throwing away his smaller army again, but still keeping on top in the supply. So Killerbot is taking the bottom left here, and actually throwing up 3 hatcheries. So definitely going for some strong macro there. Meanwhile, ZNZZ is expanding towards that. So this whole upper right half, or well, quarter rather, of the map is gonna not see a lot of action for at least now. Now Killerbot has found this and is saying, no, go away, this side of the map is mine. I've already claimed this corner. Still trying to throw down an assimilator though. And he's just kind of trickling units in, which is not really working well for defending. He's now falling back to his third and deciding to take fourth over here in the top right. These Hydralisks are putting in a lot of work. That ramp really hurt the Protoss there. Taking down this third. Hydralisks are really tearing apart this Protoss army. Taking down the third now, but the fourth and the fifth are up, but are discovered by Killerbot and are being cleaned up. It's looking like this is Killerbot's game here. ZNZZ has enough to make a final stand here, though. Maybe repel the army back, but it's down to 2 bases now, as Killerbot has the 4 bases down along the bottom here. And now the Hydralisks are just too many in number. Without Storm, Protoss not able to do anything about this army. And Killerbot's gonna take the lead in this matchup 2-1. So game 4 of ZNZZ bot and Killerbot. We've got ZNZZ, the orange Protoss, in the top right, and in the bottom right we have Killerbot, the blue Zerg. This is on Icarus, which is another more open map than destination, so let's see if it does play out the same way as the first and the third match. So this is game match. If Killerbot can take this win, they will move on to the next round of the losers bracket. ZNZZ needs to win this in order to stay alive. Now these are close positions, which might help ZNZZ a bit here when it goes to push for this natural. And Killerbot is, again, we're seeing the exact same builds, Forge first and the 3 hatchery fast expansion, or double expansion rather. So we've got Goon range underway, Dragoons, got more drones, tons of drones, some more, oh, we're getting the Sunken Colonies as the Protoss army is moving out now. Sunken Colonies are being placed a little interestingly here, only 3 as well. So we'll see. It's not, this is a rather Goon heavy army instead of a Zealot heavy army this time, so ZNZZ has mixed up his unit composition a little bit here in these games. We'll see if this does a little bit better if he decides to bust or not. Looks like he's sending out a probe to start a third. Also, it looks like, oh, okay, we're getting increased Hydralisk attack range. Ah, this is where there's... So we've got a Dragoon and a couple of Hydralisks going at it, with the Dragoon coming out on top. And here's ZNZZ chasing the army back to the Sunkens and then deciding to back off. Which, it's good to see that ZNZZ is keeping his army strong instead of just suiciding it into the Sunkens for realistically no gain. Now, this is a pretty strong army. Could do some damage here if he decides to move in, especially with the Dragoons. He is going to try and move in. Was sort of focusing the Sunken there. One Sunken down, other Sunken down, but his reinforcements have been cut off though and are being held up He really needs to get those to join the fight here if he's going to try and make this a killing blow here. Really needs to bring, and he does bring down the Dragoons, another Sunken down. And Killerbot just does not really have an army. 47 workers. So that's like about 20 supply of non-workers there. Meanwhile, his army is coming up here to try and kill this. He really needs to defend his natural. Just gonna let it fall. I really think this close distance here really worked out in ZNZZ's favor, as well as waiting until he had a strong Goon army as opposed to rushing into the Sunkens with a strong Zealot army that he didn't really reinforce as well, like in the last game. So this top right base did fall for ZNZZ, but ultimately I think ZNZZ has done more damage than Killerbot by taking out the natural and now taking out the main, down to 20-some drones, and still getting a third up, while this assimilator is slowly chewed away by this Zergling. There was an attempt to counter at the natural, but with 4 cannons here and a couple of Dragoons, seems to be holding them back. We've got kiting from both sides that are kind of keeping this army from really engaging with the Protoss, and now reinforcements, the next round of macro has come out, pushing this army back. And in the meantime, while I've been looking at that, this main is basically dead, although he did leave some buildings behind. He's going to slowly clean up another expansion, and now coming back in to finish this main. With Killerbot left with just 2 bases here, it doesn't look like he's doing any gas gathering, but really doesn't need to with the bank, but only 12 drones. ZNZZ has this game pretty solidly here. It's just a matter of the cleanup now. It was very nice to see ZNZZ getting that goon-heavy army to counter the Hydralisks and the Sunkens. The goons were a lot better at targeting those Sunkens than the Zealots were, where the Zealots have to rush in and open themselves up to be a target to everything else while trying to clear that out. And with that, ZNZZ is able to stay alive in this matchup, taking it 2-2, bringing it to the next game to decide which of these 2 bots will carry on to the next round of the losers bracket. And with that, we have game number 5 between ZNZZ and Killerbot on La Mancha. So, oh dear. It appears that Killerbot crashed this game, which would mean that this series is decided 3-2 in favor of ZNZZ, and that is a shame to see, but that does happen from time to time, that a bot will crash. Looks like Killerbot was in the bottom right. Perhaps it was something with La Mancha, or something that the bot did. I'll have to double check the official results, and we'll give an update once we start off the next game. So just a quick update here before I jump into the next match, which will be Banana Brain and Proxy. I did double check the official scores for that matchup between Killerbot and ZNZZ, and it was a 3-2 for ZNZZ and Killerbot. So it does look like indeed in that game 5 that unfortunately Killerbot did crash. So we'll go ahead and jump into the next matchup, which is Banana Brain and Proxy. Game 1 of Banana Brain vs. Proxy. We have Banana Brain, the orange Protoss here at the top, and Proxy, the yellow Zerg, down at the bottom of Destination. So we've got another Protoss versus Zerg, and we'll see if we get a different playstyle, different build orders from these 2 bots than we saw in the last games. It looks like we are, as Banana Brain is going ahead with an in-base pylon. We're seeing an overpull here, it looks like, from Proxy. And 2 gateways, so this should be easily defended by Banana Brain here. He's going to be able to pump any amount of Zealots that he needs to in order to defend this, and he does scout the Zerglings and knows that they're on their way. I'm going to hold here at the ramp. These could be positioned a little bit better in order to stop the Zerglings from running up and surrounding, but it looks like doesn't need to. He's going to go ahead and move out. Feels comfortable with these 4 Zealots here against these 6 Zerglings, and going to go ahead and chase them around a little bit here while still pumping out additional Zealots. Meanwhile, the gas is complete. Going to go ahead and start his Cybernetics core. trapping the Zerglings at the little third base here, which is very nice. But more Zerglings are out and causing a little bit of trouble for the Zealots individually. But overall, I don't think any Zealots have been lost yet. Now, Stargate is underway, so we'll probably see some Corsair harass here. And it looks like the Zerg Proxy here does not have any anti-air, so this could be a problem. If a Corsair pops out, it could get supply blocked. Now, there is a lair, but the nice run by there by Banana Brain to the main where there are no Sunkens, doing some damage, taking out the drones. And yeah, he just ran in a couple more Zealots, just running past the Sunkens there. Causing a lot of damage, down to 7 drones here for Proxy. That kind of economic pain is going to hurt, especially now there's a Corsair out. The natural is being taken by Banana Brain. He's going to be able to clean up these Zealots, maybe with these Zerglings, taking out more drones still. Getting a gas at the natural, now just more Zealots. Corsairs taking out the Overlord, supply block, not able to do anything about the Corsairs. Now it's just a matter of time until Banana Brain is strong enough to take out those Sunkens, it looks like. I do wonder really quick. Let's see, 1 kill, 3 kills, 1 kill, so 4 Overlords have died thanks to these Corsairs. No money really, first a little bit of income, another Overlord goes down. Another Overlord underway, but he's just going to get destroyed. Meanwhile, DTs are out, cleaning up the natural and the main. I really like that bringing out the DTs when the Zerg has been rendered completely empty of its Overlords. GG by Banana Brain here with that beautiful run by. Let's go ahead and jump into Game 2. Game 2 is again on Destination with the players in the same positions. This time teal, and again orange. So we'll see if this plays out similarly to the last game with a nice Zealot run by, or if Proxy maybe goes a different build. Go ahead and get rid of the unit display real quick here. So we've got the scout underway, sees the overpull. Getting a fast gas this time, so I guess we're going to see a different play from Banana Brain going with the Cybernetics core now. Expansion is underway, the Zerglings are out, we do have a Zealot at the gate, as it were, with the Overlord parked above again. Now the Zerglings, having cleaned up the scouting probe, are coming up to say hello. There are, I believe, 2 Zealots there that should be able to hold this now. 3rd Zealot. Although they could be, well, now with 3 there, it should be fine. But with 2, they were in a little bit of trouble as they could have been surrounded with their positioning. Stargate is constructed, so now the Zealots are going to move out so that he can take this natural. Not very clean. The Zealots there got a little bit distracted by some of the Zerglings. Proxy is going to be able to shut down that natural. And with that natural being shut down, it looks like Banana Brain is going to go ahead and throw down a couple more gates, as well as a Citadel of Adun. Going to try and move out and take this natural again. This time a little bit better, as there were less Zerglings sitting there in the natural for Proxy, but a few more coming out to reinforce. The Corsair is now out in play, and I don't know... Spire did finish, as well as its Flyer Attack 1. Looks like we're getting some Mutalisks instead of Scourge. But the Mutalisks should be able to handle this Corsair. Although there is a second one out in play now. So yeah, we do have the Mutalisks trying to deal with these Corsairs here. Don't think they're going to be able to... Oh, they were able to do it in the numbers and with the reinforcing. They're going to clean those up right there now. Banana Brain might be in trouble. The natural... If the Mutalisks are able to get in there without much challenge... These the Zealots can't really stab up, so they're not going to be able to do much of anything against these Corsairs, and they're kind of, the Mutalisks, and they're kind of just running back now to the cannons. The Mutalisks really should just fall back and eat all of these delicious probes here at the natural, but instead they're going to try and harass the main, which is not going to be as effective use of them as it could be, although they will get to clean up some goons here as their numbers keep. Now, Proxy looks like is going out to take his 3rd. which is good to see. You've got your opponent back on the ropes. Go ahead and expand if you've got the money for it, although that will cut into your ability to reinforce your attack a little bit. Now with the Zerglings coming in here, the Zealots feel emboldened to come out and take care of them. The Mutalisk count is falling quite a bit. That is one thing with stacking mutas. It loses a tiny bit of its effectiveness in a bot game, as the bots are able to target individual Mutalisks in the stack, so that way they can make sure they're always attacking the weakest one, which is something that human players can't do against a Mutalisk stack. Now, we do have a large Zealot army here for Banana Brain. With the Mutalisk cloud being pushed back, they are moving out. So it looks like with that expansion, Proxy really sort of lost the edge on his attack. In addition to that, really didn't make good effective use of his Mutalisks. He could have really punished this natural here with the lack of cannons and anti-air, but instead he decided to try and keep fighting in the main, and was not able to really deal effective damage to Banana Brain other than delaying him a little bit, especially because with this large Zealot army, it didn't get touched at all during that whole episode, so it was just still sitting there waiting for its opportunity to come out protected in order to deal damage like this to the natural. Meanwhile, so the Zealots are cleaning up the natural. There is now a Corsair Zealot Dragoon army here at the third, cleaning it up. It looks like this game is again going to go for Banana Brain, although it did play out differently on the same map, so that was good to see, that the bots just didn't essentially do the exact same things to each other again, which sometimes you will see in bot matchups. And then here, just the Mutalisks can't really do anything against these Zealots, as Banana Brain now cleans up the main. Dragoons and Corsairs are here, but the buildings are going to fall, and Game 2 is going to go for Banana Brain, going up with a 2-0 lead against Proxy. So for the third game between these two bots, we are on Icarus, with Proxy spawning as the White Zerg in the top of the map, and Banana Brain as the Red Protoss along the left of the map. So I'm curious to see if Banana Brain will go for Zealot Heavy or for the Quick Cybernetics core this matchup, as well as if Proxy will, again, Proxy has basically done the same build each time, so it's mainly been Banana Brain that has been the difference here, and it looks like Banana Brain is going to go for a fast expansion, going Forge first, which is good to do as he did not scout Proxy, so he's not sure, and Proxy actually is going for Hatchery first, so it looks like we are seeing a different build from both bots in this third game. Now the Nexus goes down, as Banana Brain did find Proxy, saw the late pull, and realized, you know what, I've got time to throw down my Nexus first, before I even get a single cannon, and also get the gateway too, because the Zerglings are just not going to be able to arrive in time to punish me for doing that. Although, we could see a run-by here. It looks like we're not going to. The Zerglings, 2 of them are going to get sniped and then run back. They could have gone in here. Maybe 4 of them would have survived to cause some trouble. But instead, we're just going to see them get cleaned up here by this Zealot. Maybe, yep. Zealot survives with about 1 hit left on him. Third base going down for Proxy here in the top right corner. Got some more Zerglings coming down to investigate. Looks like oh, the Zealots are chasing the scouting drone that found where he was situated. And now we have the little dance outside the base, just watching for when Banana Brain moves out. Hydralisk Den is down, and Lair Tech looks like we're seeing Hydralisk play instead of Mutalisk play, which is going to be able to deal with these Corsairs from Banana Brain. Nope, the production tab was not open for the opening of that, so I apologize. Looks like we're seeing upgrades coming out for Banana Brain. We've got Zealot Speed, and we've got air upgrades for the Corsairs here. And we've also got missile attacks and movement, or range rather, for the Hydralisks. We might have already got movement speed for the Hydralisks. So the Zealot army here is trying to kind of stay in the cover of this cannon. And the Hydralisks are kiting these pretty effectively here. That Zealot's going off on its own. The Corsairs are trying to find places to harass the Overlords, but with the Hydralisk build, they're not being that successful in it. Although it is kind of cute to watch them dance like just outside of the range of the Hydralisks for the most part. Got some random smattering of Zealots chasing units down in the middle of the map. Meanwhile, Robo Bay is now down. Storm is researching. So Storm will be really good to see. We'll see also, too, if Proxy's able to transition out of Hydralisks into something else, which he may need to if Banana Brain can effectively use that Storm. And there's a nice Storm. Got, I think, a couple of Hydralisks there. But one of the High Templars did fall. And that High Templar just did not have energy and was very quickly targeted down. Meanwhile, though, totally missed that some of the Zealots did wander into the natural. And there are some Sunkens. Zealots were just dancing in the Sunkens, taking the hits for some reason. It looked like they wanted to ignore them and target the drones. But something was causing them to retreat before they actually did any damage, but then decide to go back in, which is something that you sometimes see with the bots. A bit of indecisiveness costing them there. But Banana Brain is able to clear out any forces from his in front of his natural, so he's able to actually move out here and just kind of scout around and see what's happening. A little bit of weirdness. That Zealot seemed like he was stuck trying to target that Hydralisk. Another group of Hydralisks here, but a nice Storm taking out 4 Hydralisks there. Very nice to see. But the Hydralisk numbers are a lot. Proxy is expanding twice now. So if he's able to establish those, he'll have a very strong macro front. Although Banana Brain is banking a lot of minerals, he seems to be held up by gas. He is trying to get a third down here in the bottom left. That's hard to see because of the mini-map. But so he is taking the third expansion. He can get a third gas set up. But he is able to push back this Hydralisk mainly army. Proxy maybe should have transitioned into something to go along with the Hydralisks here, as it seems like the Hydralisks alone are just not doing it. Let me see if I can try and check the upgrades here. They are 2 attack and 0 defense, while the same for the Protoss, 2 attack, 0 on the armor and shields, and also 1 attack on the air. The Hydralisks are slowly pushing down this army as some of it trickles. We've got another Zealot just kind of chilling there taking hits. I think there was another Storm that went off. Looks like maybe another couple of Hydralisk kills from it. And this top right, the drones are being targeted by Banana Brain, which is good to see. He's going for that economic damage when he knows he might not be able to clear the entire base, as the backup does come and clean up the army, but the economic damage was done. We do see the large discrepancy in worker count, but you expect to see that in Zerg matchups. Meanwhile, there is a Corsair free, just going around hunting down the Overlords, but these Hydralisks are going to come over and shut that down. A 4th base now going on for, and a 5th base being established as well for Banana Brain here. Meanwhile, the bottom right at some point was taken by Proxy. Another Storm going off, very nice, another one, but that one was a little misplaced. And Reavers are out now. We've got, plus Templar energy, so that will be nice. Another ground weapon upgrade coming out for the Protoss. We've got another Nexus. I think that's that one there. Dark Templars are coming out into play now. It's hard to tell if we've got Overlord speed or not. We do have Hives out, though, but I don't see any Hive tech. It looks like he's just sticking with the Hydralisks, which at this point in the game, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Especially with this Reaver here. Let's see if we get any very nice... Oh, only 2. Oh, another one. More Hydralisks going down. This Reaver getting the kills. 10 kill Reaver. And staying alive. With 3 hit points. Now the High Templar and the Dark Templar coming in. The army just kind of all merging from all different parts of the map here. Meanwhile, another expansion going down for Banana Brain in the top left. These expansions have been cleared out by Banana Brain. Reaver here putting in some work too. 28 kills it looked like it had. These two, the Sunkens just outranged by the Reavers. It looks like this game is slowly going in the favor of Banana Brain. Natural falls. Now the main is going to fall. And it looks like Banana Brain is going to move on 3-0 into the next round of the losers. speed this up as Banana Brain comes down. So very good attempt here by Proxy. I really like the Hydralisk play, but it looked like Proxy just stayed on that Hydralisk play too long. Should have transitioned into some sort of late game build there, as the Protoss army just able to overwhelm those Hydralisks in the end to move on to the next round. For the final matchup of tonight's broadcast, we have Ironbot on the left, the blue Terran, against Microwave, the white Zerg, on the right of Moonglaive. So we've had a couple of Protoss versus Zergs, and now we've got a Terran versus Zerg. Terran that usually goes for mech play. And we'll see if Microwave has what it takes to take out Ironbot, which historically has been one of the stronger bots in the tournament. And on the ladder too. Looks like Ironbot is going for his usual wall in with the bunker and 2 supply depots, while Microwave is finding his base with the Overlord Scout, so the wall won't be much of a problem, but the Marine might be. The wall is open up for the SCV Scout to go out. Oh, didn't mean to pause, meant to slow down a little there, as the Zerglings are going to try and bust this wall. The Marine can't decide if it wants to shoot the Zerglings or the Overlords. Just enough SCVs on this supply depot to keep it alive. More Zerglings are streaming in. It's really eating into Ironbot's money supply, though. Doesn't have enough to get a... wants to put more up, and it's gonna fall, it's gonna fall. Able to puncture a hole. Microwave throwing out a little cheese. Is this the right strategy? As he does burst through the wall with those Zerglings, cleaning up the Marines, and now cleaning out the SCVs. I did not expect to see this in game 1. Microwave able to tear down that wall. There was enough. Ironbot giving out, or tapping out with the GG. An exciting quick game 1. Microwave going up 1-0. Game 2 on Tau Cross with Ironbot spawning as orange on the left and Microwave spawning as teal in the top right. So last game we saw Ironbot's wall actually gets broken down by Microwave, which is great to see. It's something that you don't see happen in the bot world very often. It's actually very difficult for bots to be able to recognize that there is a wall of units in the way, as the pathing of Brood War in the internal engine as well, and for humans, when you click to tell them to move, they don't consider, oh, I can't get from point A to point B because there's units in the way, because the in-game pathing doesn't handle the dynamicness of buildings and units being in places. Now, it does sort of handle it in some respects, but like if you're doing like large, well, I probably am misspeaking somewhat on it because I haven't looked into it, but I know there's plenty of good information about it on the SSCAIT Discord. So I would actually recommend going there and checking it out before I am just completely misspeaking on it, on the matter. But I know that that is part of why it's very difficult to recognize walls. Now it looks like we're having the same situation here, where Microwave is trying to break down this wall, but there's plenty of real estate for the SCVs to prepare. But oh, he pulled off some of the SCVs, which caused the problem, and the wall is now broken, but they don't recognize that they've broken the wall, and instead of focusing on the units, they went to the other supply depot. So Ironbot is able to maybe hold this off. He is able to get the money to get a vulture, so the Zerglings are going to have to back off now, so they're just not going to be able to handle this vulture. But they are trying, but the Zerglings get picked off, and so the natural is started, Sunken is started in the main, trying to keep that vulture busy so that way it can't get to the natural in order to harass it, because there is no Sunken there to defend at the moment. Vulture, 7 Zergling kills so far. Second Vulture is now out for Ironbot. 8 kills now for this Vulture. 9 now. Gonna come in, try to deal some damage. The Creep Colony is out though. Gonna get a few of those drones, but now this Sunken is gonna morph here and pretty much protect this base from the Vulture harass. Did manage to snipe another drone. 1 kill on this Vulture. The other Vulture was the one with the higher number of kills. So it looks like we're stabilizing a little bit this game here. A second factory going down for Ironbot. More Zerglings coming out just to be picked off by the vultures. Looks like he's just sending them out 2 at a time. A second creep colony coming down now. A third hatchery as well. Spider mines being researched. Engineering bay going down. Run by, but oh, it does have. They do have some open space to play here though, so that's going to be a problem for Microwave. While it does have the sunken, there was room. He was able to get one of the vultures, I believe, but there is still a vulture in the main. Not really finding the positioning. Oh, almost finding the positioning there. Being chased. I think it took a sunken hit there as well. Meanwhile, back home, we've got the starport and the armory going. We've got the natural command center coming down. Some turrets being thrown up for detection. And now we've got a 4th hatchery started for Microwave. The vultures, though, are able to handle any of the Zerglings that Microwave tries to poke out with. So we do see a Spire coming down, so Microwave is going to transition into a unit that Ironbot's not really able to handle at the moment. We'll just speed things up a little bit here. We've got Cloak for Wraiths underway, vehicle weapons coming out, some more turrets coming down, units just being fed out here to these vultures that are probably... We've got 13 kills, 7 kills, 11, 5, now 14 on this, so they're just gaining their kill count here. Spawn camping, if you will, these Zerglings. Meanwhile, we do have mines being laid out at the various spaces, so that way Ironbot can keep tabs on what is happening. We don't have any air units on the way yet, even though the Spire finished a little bit ago. Now this Wraith is going to put in some work. Going to take out some of these drones. And Microwave up... Okay, there's the Mutalisks now, but with Cloak. And it doesn't look like Overlord's speed yet. And the Overlords are all clumped up there. Now the tanks are coming out. This is not looking good for Microwave. He was just throwing units away slowly to the Vultures. And then just the slow transition from Zergling only to the Mutalisks. Maybe got a few too many Sunkens there at the front. And Ironbot now able to just march in. GG from Microwave. Nicely played, Ironbot. A deep mind could learn from you. With the score tied 1-1, we are taking Game 3 on Circuit Breakers with Ironbot, the brown Terran on the bottom right, and Microwave, the teal Zerg in the top left. I assume that we are going to see similar openings here as Ironbot scouts the empty top right first. And we do see, I believe that was the 9 pull from Microwave. Oh, we are not seeing a wall on this map. This map might not be conducive to doing a wall, so early Zergling pressure may work out for... We do have the Zerglings under construction there, and now they are out. However, this is a very long distance between the maps, especially with the cross spawn. So, Iron able to get that that bunker down. And the Marines are kind of playing with the bunker there. The Zerglings are now... We're chasing the Scout. The Scout managed to dodge them, but now second bunker going down. Microwave is not going to be able to break this ramp. A lot of dancing going on there. Microwave questioning if he's doing the right thing or not. And looks like he's getting his evolution chamber up. Does have the one defensive sunken, getting a Hydralisk den this time. So maybe we'll see some Hydralisk play instead of some... I'm trying to select the machine factory there. Looks like we are getting mines. There is a Vulture out now, being chased by the large pack of Zerglings. However, they have given up their pursuit in favor of chasing another Vulture. We've got 3 Vultures now outside of the natural here, and again we're seeing the similar story where they are slowly picking off the Zerglings. Mines are being laid though, and Hydralisks are out, which can handle Vultures a little bit differently, although Speed is researching for the Vultures and looks like it is now done, so the Vultures are going to be even more difficult to deal with. Mines taking some of the Hydralisks out. It's going to be very dangerous. The Overlord though is out to try and help, but now the Marines coming in, and also Mutalisks now, which that's going to be very gas heavy on 2 bases for Microwave to be trying to pump out both Hydralisks and Mutalisks. But with that, he was able to push back, take out the Marines that were supporting the Vultures, and now the Mutalisks, it looked like they were going to harass Ironbot. Now they're dancing in the middle, not sure what they want to do. Lone Marine has found an Overlord here. The Vultures, though, just in this Natural's entrance are giving Microwave a lot of issues. Not sure how he wants to handle it, which is probably going to be a problem for him with the indecisiveness. Though he did chase that SCV down, now he's clearing out the mines with the Mutalisks, which is very good to see. It's a pretty decent Mutalisk size there of 8 Mutalisks. But now a couple of Valkyrie are out to play. They're getting chased down by the Mutalisks right into the turrets. So Ironbot is pretty well secure here with his turret setup. Not really going to be many places. The Mutalisks could maybe pick off this starport if they really wanted to, but other than that, it looks like there's not going to get much effectiveness in terms of harassment. Now back at home, we see another hatchery going down, but Microwave really doesn't have money to be spending, but that will help with the larva count, which seems to be on very short supply here for him. He's trying to push these Vultures back, but really just using only a couple of units at a time is not very good. And then the moment that he's pushing them back, he's heading towards the middle of the map. Does have a pretty nice sized army here, but not doing too much with it as it's just kind of dancing around. And the SCV's out repairing the mech units for Ironbot. Now we do have some Wraiths out. I imagine Cloak is probably researched. We're getting vehicle weapons, which are currently at level 0. Oh, able to get that Valkyrie there. Overlord taken out by the Valkyrie. Trying to do some damage here. There are no tanks in play, so this army could be pretty effective if it marched in. It just has to, it does have to be careful though of the mines. Oh, and I meant to slow that down. That was a very nice mine shot. And oh, so many Hydralisks just gone there from those mines. Very quickly turning it around for Ironbot, able to repel that attack with some beautiful mine explosions. Now tanks are in play, which is going to make this a little bit trickier for Microwave. Really needed to not take that mine hit. And then tanks scaring the Hydralisks back now. Meanwhile, Scourge are out to try and deal with these Valkyries so that the Overlords can do their detective work for those mines. Looks like the Goliaths might actually be targeting the Overlords. Yeah, he's trying to take that detection away from them, which is pretty nice to see. But right now we've got both bots fighting over the middle of the map here, trying to fight towards each other bases. This is a beautiful micro. Though the Zerg getting distracted by that bottom middle expansion. So his army's coming out from a different angle. There's only 2 tanks though. I feel like if Microwave really wanted to, he could push this. He'd just have to be careful. He could take these tanks out if he just would engage, but he's not. If he would run up to the tanks and fight them, there's only 2. There's nothing defending them, nothing stopping them. Although now the Vultures are coming in. More mines being planted. Microwave slowly being pushed back here. Meanwhile, Microwave is trying to take this 3rd. But I don't know. Yeah, this army, he's slowly just marching towards him. And now with these, if he gets pushed back across this bridge, it's not going to go well because their army is not going to be effectively able to march across these bridges. He could take this way and have a high ground advantage. But yeah, the Mutalisks are now down. Some more Scourge trying to come out to deal with this, but the Valkyrie able to keep themselves alive. This is not looking good for Microwave. Tanks are slowly pushing them down. Meanwhile, Ironbot has expanded twice during all of this fighting here. Ironbot rather, slowly marching across this bridge. Will Microwave be able to hold this or not? Looks like he's just kind of sacrificing Hydralisks to the siege tanks. Now we've got Defense Matrix in play. Ironbot expanding again. Ironbot has this soundly under control. Microwave's really going to need to pull something out here. 21 kill tank. I'm kind of speeding through it a bit here, so it's hard to click on the tanks, but there was at least a 21 kill tank there. Microwave just not being really decisive with his army on how he wants to engage, and it's understandably so because these bridges definitely do not work in his favor. But not finding the path around in order to avoid the bridges is really hurting him here. Now, he did tech to Hive with this huge pressure in his face, which is probably not the wisest of moves with his economy. It looks like Ironbot now is taking this game. It was very great to see, though, with the back and forth and then the fight in the middle to try and take control of the map, and Ironbot coming out on top, able to march down Microwave's throat there, going up 2-1. And for what could be the final game of the losers round 2. Whoa. Okay, we have Ironbot doing something that's looking a bit like some Limburger cheese here, sending out one of his initial SCVs immediately. And Microwave, the yellow Zerg, looking like doing some pretty standard play in the bottom right. Ironbot going to not find Microwave here. This is on Fighting Spirit. And now going to scout the bottom left, so still not going to find Microwave. And now getting a supply depot. So that super early scout kind of threw me off. Thought maybe we were going to see some type of proxy barracks, which we still might see, as now seeing this base empty, he knows, okay, he's in bottom right, but nope, we're going to see the in-base barracks. So maybe we would have seen some cheese if he had been able to find him right away, but just due to the scouting, he's like, okay, I know I can't do that. Now there is no wall, so we should see a bunker going down, and again, they are cross-mapped, so he does have the rush distance to be pretty safe here, but either way, really did not need to pull these SCVs at all. Could have kept them mining to make his build order a little bit stronger, as the Zerglings were pretty preoccupied by the SCVs, though now they have broken off and they cross the map to find the bunker, Marines, and SCVs here. Just not able to do anything. So again, Microwave with a bit of BM there, asking his opponent if he's doing the right strategy or not. And we do have now the 2 factories coming down with the dual bunkers for Ironbot. And now we're going to see the Vulture play tag with the Zerglings, and one of them did get caught. But now there's going to be a steady stream of them coming out, as there are 2. We do have speed underway and about to finish, and now the natural being taken. Meanwhile, we do have a bit of a run by here going on, and there is space here, but it does in the end get caught by the sunken. So a couple of drones, though, I think did go down there, as well as now the steady stream of Zerglings that Microwave seems to like to sacrifice. This is looking a lot like, while he was able to take game 1 from breaking Ironbot's wall, Ironbot kind of gave up that wall after game 2. Ooh, some nice mine there with the 4 Hydralisks going down. But Ironbot said, you know what, the small's not working for me, so I'm just going to double bunker up and be safe that way. And oh, another more, they really need that that Overlord speed to be able to see that, and there is a turret there to stop the Mutalisks, and as well as now a Wraith is out. Weapon upgrades about to be done. Siege mode is being researched, so we'll see the tanks come out soon. Microwave might be able to push this back a bit. Was able to take out the 1 turret, but Microwave is just pretty heavily contained here. Now the tanks are out. The nice repairs by the SCVs. There are a lot of SCVs out here, but there is also a lot of mech, and bots are able to a lot more effectively use the SCVs to repair units while not sacrificing macro back home. As we can see, Ironbot is now taking his 3rd. He does have Starport up with the control tower, maintaining this contain. Might lose a tank, but Microwave doesn't have a whole lot of an army, and that's because he's spending all of the money that he can, playing with a pretty decent economy for Zerg at this point, but just letting this mech army get on his front door He's just not able to break it as he just streams. Instead of building up a force to be able to deal with this, he just kind of streams his units in a few at a time, letting Ironbot pick them off. It looks like Ironbot will be moving on to the next round of the losers bracket. As he's cleaning this up, we'll go ahead and speed this up a bit here. Yep, cleaning up the last building here. Microwave was staying in till the end. Very well played by Ironbot, and especially seeing that adjustment where in the first game the wall fell. While it did do a wall in the second game, and technically that wall did fall, Microwave made the mistake of attacking the supply depot instead of going in after the units. Perhaps it still saw a wall because of the amount of SCVs that were there, and so it thought, oh, I still need to target the buildings. Whereas in the first game, once that wall fell, it was able to get those Zerglings into the main and actually take out the Marines and deal enough damage to be able to take the game. But with the adjustments that it seems that Ironbot made in its strategy, going for the double bunkers in the third and the fourth game, is able to keep those Zerglings, early Zerglings at bay until he would have the army to handle those Zerglings and set up a contain outside of Microwave's natural, where he would just slowly stream his units in, not effectively trying to break the contain. So very good game from Ironbot, very good attempt by Microwave, and great to see it take a game off of Ironbot, but Ironbot will be moving on to the next losers round. So after those 4 matches of the losers round 2, we had Steamhammer and ZNZZBot move on to the losers round 3 to play each other, as well as Banana Brain and Ironbot. This was definitely an exciting set of matchups, with 2 of them going up to 5 games and being decided 3-2. So hopefully next week we'll be able to bring you the winners round 3 and losers round 3, and maybe even further if we can, depending on timing of how long the matchups take and everything. But thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can always check us out on Twitch. Games are running 24/7 for the most part. The latter games, as well as at the Patreon, which is down at the bottom of the screen there, if you want to help support us. So thank you so much, and have a great week, everyone.